Hello everyone, welcome back to Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. I'm your host, and as you can see on this show, I'm going to be breaking down all of the day's movie news as well as talking about everything that goes on behind the production. So starting with today, I've talked about the Avengers Age of Ultron, as well as Marvel's upcoming slate of films and what those could potentially be, as well as Robert Downey Jr. potentially coming back as Iron Man in Iron Man 4, as well as Sony's slate of upcoming films including Sinister Six and Amazing Spider-Man 3. So the next topic that we're going to be talking about today is a video that came out actually late last week, over the weekend I believe. J.J. Abrams actually did another video for the Force for Change initiative, which is a partnership between the Star Wars camp and UNICEF to basically do this great charity event where basically whoever donates the most money gets to be flown to the London set, gets put into makeup and costume, and actually gets to be an extra in the film. They get to be personal guests of J.J. Abrams himself, and I'm assuming they get to meet the cast and crew and hang out for a while. And it's just a great thing, especially the cause they're going with. So with that Force for Change actually ending next week, he put out a final video for that as like a final surge to get more people involved. So as a consolation prize, whoever donates the second largest amount will actually get to have a screening of the film, the finished film, the first screening in their hometown. So that's actually very exciting. But the most exciting part about this video was the unveiling of the brand new X-Wing. The X-Wing fighter full-scale practical set that actually had, in the video, the X-Wing pilot actually walked in front of J.J. Abrams, asked him to please move out of the way, and climbed into the X-Wing fighter. So the canopy actually opened up, he got in, the canopy closed, and then one of those little robots from the Death Star from the original Star Wars movies actually went by, and he even had the little sound effect too. I'm wondering if that was done in post or if that's actually something that the little machine actually creates, which would be really cool if it did. But it was the same sound effect. It just brought back that unique little feeling that people always got from those movies. For practical, you could sit there, you could actually pick it up and touch it. You know, it's not CG. It's not what can we do very simply and just do everything else in post production. So I'm glad that they didn't do that. But an even bigger story from this, and also I love the design of this thing. It's a slightly updated version. The biggest change, as you can see, with the exception of that blue strip going along the side, is the 4 engines actually being comprised into 2. Now, some people online have actually been stating that this looks more in line with the fighter from Clone Wars, but I don't think that's the case because there's obviously similarities, but when you look at the ends of the wings, you can actually see that there are 2 gun canopies or laser canopies on the end, which means that the wings will actually open up and they will be individual canopy or individual firing modules. I'm obviously reading a lot into this more than what was intended, but more so than anything else was a potential leaked story for Star Wars Episode VII, the actual storyline for the film. So for those of you who do not want to know the storyline or what the potential storyline could be about, you guys can go ahead and stop watching the video because this is all I'm going to be talking about on this one, but check back for the next one, which will be sometime tomorrow. So here we go. Again, spoiler alert for those of you who do not want to know anything about Star Wars Episode VII. So the movie is going to start with the classic space crawl. And once that's done, the camera starts to pan up into the stars. And normally in a Star Wars movie, you see a ship come out or something of that sort come out. In this case, it's a severed human hand grasping a lightsaber. Later on, it does reveal that this is Luke's hand, but I'm assuming that it's actually Luke's hand from The Empire Strikes Back. So it's been now 30 years, this hand's been floating in space. And it crash lands on a desert planet. They said desert planet, they did not say Tatooine, and I'm hoping that this desert planet is not Tatooine. I think we're going to visit Tatooine, but I hope we don't just keep revisiting the same planets. I hope there's a lot of new planets that they do try to explore. But John Boyega and Daisy Ridley's characters, who are said to be the lead characters in the movie, they're the ones who the movie actually revolves around. And from what I've heard, John Boyega is actually stealing the show in this movie, so watch out for him. And he's also rumored to be a stormtrooper. not a current stormtrooper, but one who has just recently either abandoned his post or has just given up on being a stormtrooper just in general. But they actually find the severed hand with the lightsaber in it on a desert planet. Realizing that the lightsaber is a Jedi relic, they attempt to bring that back to the right people, basically the existing Jedis who are still around. And during their search, they actually meet up with Han Solo and Chewie, who are currently not piloting the Millennium Falcon, but they are piloting something else. The rumor does not go through to say as to what they could be piloting, but because they don't, they actually say in there, this is too much of a spoiler. I'm assuming that it's some sort of Imperial starship of some kind, whether it be the ship that they used during the Battle of Endor, whether it be an actual Star Destroyer. We still don't know. I doubt it's going to be a Star Destroyer. I think it's actually going to be the ship from Endor or something like that. But they're currently not piloting the Falcon, but they will be getting the Falcon back at some point later on in the movie because we do know that there's a full-scale model that's been built. And they actually recognize that it was Luke's lightsaber, and then they attempt to try to track him down, and that's how Han Solo and Chewie actually get rung back in. That's why they're going. That's why Luke is actually back in the foray, and through some of that, Leia's going to pop up. But one of the more impressive parts is, meanwhile, while all this is happening, nefarious forces are building a super weapon, one that can not only destroy planets but entire solar systems. So this is like a souped-up Death Star. And the cool thing about that is this is almost mimicking Star Wars Episode IV. It's a reboot in themes, which is a really cool concept, especially to try to grasp what was so great about the original trilogy, why the original trilogy worked so well, excluding the time that it came out in, the fact that it just blew people's minds. The thematic elements of these movies were incredible, and if they can just touch on that with this new film, then we definitely have a hit. But the fact that they're almost in theme-wise, they're going to be retreading a lot of the same areas, but giving us new information. That to me is really intriguing because that's again bringing us back and connecting us with the original trilogy. And so I'm very excited that if this is the case, if this is the actual storyline of the movie. This is fascinating because this falls in line with what people have been hoping for Star Wars Episode VII. Return to the original trilogy in a sense. Using practical effects, which we know he's doing. He's built a full-scale Millennium Falcon. He's built a full-scale X-Wing fighter. We still don't know what else they've built because everything is being shrouded in JJ's classic mystery box. But yeah, I mean, all things considered with this, we're going to get one hell of a surprise come December 18th, 2015. I cannot wait for the first footage. And they did officially come out and state that there was not going to be anything shown for Star Wars Episode VII at Comic-Con. Star Wars Episode VII was not going to have a presence there. Now, that does not mean that they're not going to announce something. Potentially either the characters' names, which I doubt that. I'm going more so for the title. We're probably going to get the title within the next few months because it would be, in my personal opinion, it'd be stupid of them to wait until 6 to 8 months before the release of the film to actually give us the title. To give us something now, and it's been a bit since we actually got some official information outside of this this X-Wing reveal, which we already knew was there because in the set photos that came out about a month ago or so, maybe a month and a half ago, we saw the X-Wing fighter being built. So we knew that was coming. It wasn't really that much of a surprise. So I would be hard-pressed if they didn't, within the next few weeks or even month, actually reveal the official title of the film. But if we get more information about this, I will definitely update you guys on here. And just a quick little add-on, this has nothing to do with Star Wars, just because I didn't want to record another video just for this. Dealing with something I talked about on last week's episode involving the Uncharted film, how they originally said that they were hoping to start production in early 2015. I said that most likely means we're going to get it in summer 2016, most likely August. I was a little bit off by that, but Sony has officially come out and announced Uncharted will be released June 10th, 2016. Which means not only are they correct with the movies actually gearing up to start filming in early of next year, apparently the script they have is great. It really hits on a lot of the things that the video game is known for while still telling an original story.